This is already going downhill.
Let's play D&D for the last time in 2017.
Oh
Yeah.
God, now that one is true.
Oh.
God. On
All
literally
right.
the last day, we procrastinated the entire time. All right.
I'll ask Benji, but I'm sure it's already been going. Benjamin, is it recording?
It's recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hail and well met travelers. Welcome to
Hey,
Dungeons
bitch.
and Dragons. All right. Hey, bitch is my new one. 2018 is Hey,
My
bitch.
one.
Hey, Bimch.
Hey,
Vips.
botch.
Hey, butterscotch.
Okay, this is bad.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a good one, lads. Welcome to
I don't
D&D.
remember how to play D&D.
Well, get your fucking asshole in check. Because I don't remember what happened last time, but we're gonna try.
Yeah, I don't remember a single thing.
We
I don't
took
know shit.
Oh.
we
Kara
took
always
a
knows.
tour.
We woke up and talked to Agora. And then we met
and then
some Tiefs.
Yes.
The
met
teeth.
them Tiefs.
We met
Oh.
a chief.
The Tiefs are gone. Oh wait, they're there.
They're here. Let me just change this music. It's
Oh, it all suddenly came back to me. Also, this is my fucking jam.
all right. The whole time, everyone's in Sekoh. No one's just jamming out. All right. Last session, you all met Agora. Did you meet Agora last session? Was that?
No, we met in the one
No.
hall.
It was
we
the
just
session
talked to him.
before.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the session before we met him, and then
Yeah. You met
Last-
Star and Thorn last
Yeah.
session, and Sarah was sent out to look for your father, kind of as a scout, and Star and Thorn are going with the party, sort of as a guide slash
Babysitter.
babysitter.
Xmerit doesn't know fuck about shit.
Not when we out here not knowing fuck and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
Star
those were we
explained
took.
about-
Yeah.
Eh?
We took more or less a tour of
Yeah.
Crayon. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say it. What?
It's Crayon City. The Willy Wonka of Crayola's here. I just dropped something on the floor. It's gone now. That's fine. All right.
He'll never see it again.
I sure won't. I looked and it's not there, so our gremlin just took it.
That's
Sounds
unfortunate.
about right, actually.
Star
took it.
explained a little bit about how the central trees of each city seem to be working, and a little bit about the city itself. And I believe that was pretty much where you left off.
Yeah, we went found a hotel, an inn, whatever. Slept, and that has been it.
And now it is the next day, and you are all preparing to leave the city again.
Yeah, we all wake up feeling very, very groggy and just not sure.
Everyone is
Is
confused.
this what we're doing right?
Everyone is dazed and confused.
Train lag
God, I
is
just
really
feel like-
catching up with us.
Just really feel like I've been sleeping for a whole month.
It sure still does feel like winter still.
That'll wear off. But yeah, so you all get your stuff together, and Star and Thorn, I believe, are at least in the same hotel as you. And by the time you've all waken up, they're already downstairs waiting for you, to get going. And then you all gather yourselves and all of your belongings and head to the west. Had to never eat soggy waffles. head to the west to begin transport to the next city over. Is there anything else you would like to do in the city before we leave? I just dropped my
Die.
D20, which I do have to find. Okay. Reverence dies, I guess.
Perfect.
I'm just imagining the like dead drops you see on like model stages or whatever. Whatever the hell.
Just thunder comes out of fucking nowhere, and one of the gods just fucking smites Reverend.
Some of the
For no
magic that's
reason.
gathering from the tree just mysteriously just zaps the shit out of Reverend.
Yeah.
And she just dies.
Relishaz goes, okay, you've done enough.
You're good now. Bye.
One of the magic sunlights just explodes and fucking zaps the
One
shit
of
out
the
of
tiny
Reverend.
suns.
One of the tiny suns just
The tiny suns go Nova. But you don't understand.
know what that means.
You just definitely you don't understand that the stars can do that.
Not even a little bit.
But that's fine. You're all valid and stupid.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're being chaotic stupid. Alright, so yeah, we proceed.
Yeah, no one dies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I was just thinking. God.
So yeah, you get on another one of the cable car rides.
I imagine Merit and Reverence are just like, oh.
Yeah,
I know it too.
give me a round of constitution checks.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to play this game.
You just press the button that says constitution.
Where is my character sheet?
I already had it open. Oh. Good job. Alright, where is it?
Beep,
What's my
beep,
boy
beep.
like? Alright.
I can't wait
So
to throw
confirmed,
up my
Merit
bag
does not
again.
like trains.
Everyone
Oh,
passes.
shit. Oh, shit!
Yeah, you all climb on the train. Obviously, some of you are a little bit more unhappy
no.
with it, but no one gets sick this time. You feel a little bit dizzy, Merit, but it passes quickly once you actually get to your destination. And Noah, after your dog situation last time, you are in good spirits and do not feel sick at all.
That was good.
Is he still in the back with
Uh,
Lilith and all the dogs?
Yes. Of course.
Of course. But yeah,
Making
it takes
friends?
it takes a couple hours again to travel from city to city, and you get here about midday, to the city of Lon. Let me move you guys over.
Not here. Fuck this. I hate this place.
God, Rizlan. There's blood all over it.
Yeah.
I hate this place.
This is fucking fantastic.
So
I'm
one of the first things to note about this city is as you travel into it with the cable car, you cannot there is no stations at the sides of the city, whereas the other ones you would get off immediately, because the entire circle, the center circle of the city is water. And
Interesting.
the cable car that goes directly through it has to take you to the center square with the giant tree, which in this one is a willow tree.
Oh.
Pretty.
And as you are going over all of this water, you get a good look at what is actually happening. Lurzlon provides this map on the train, and it's not helpful until you now see how it's going on. Each of these circles that was shittily drawn out and then given up halfway through seem to be... There is, as you drive over these, the water, you can see below you, there are massive circles that seem to be floating on top of the water, almost like lily pads, that contain just, like, large chunks of city. And, they don't really have ways that, connect them, but they seem to just sort of drift into each other, and as they're touching, people cross very quickly.
Oh my god!
And there are lots of them, and they're all slowly spinning around the center.
What the fuck?
Extreme sport bullshit.
And it's just lily pads, just big ass.
Essentially.
Alright.
Are there things
That's
in the water?
fucking red, but also
You can't see from the cable car, but once you get out, you can look.
I'm going to look.
Do a perception check.
Yes, I know where that is on my list.
It's one of the P's.
It's in alphabetical order.
Yeah, you all disembarked from the cable car in the center square, which is, there are these, hold on, these lines going out in all four directions to, like, the four, columns that hold up the dome roof,
Mhm.
are, like, catways that lead over the city. They're much higher than the water, but, so that none of the floating lily pads get bumped into, obviously, but, Pen, you can kind of go down like pretty close to the water within I want to say there's like a 5-foot drop between the edge of the square and the water. And the water is what you can immediately tell extremely deep and very dark because of this. There's no like underwater lights to illuminate what's down there. But you see something swim by
Nice.
deep down there.
Pen is very tempted to go in, but holds off for now.
Yeah, there is there is definitely no swimming sign posted.
Mm.
And this
I
is
to
like
mention the signs are like the like it's obviously drawn and then it's written in Sekoh's language and then common also do not swim. Just
oh
like,
no, it's in like 4 different languages, like Draconian, Tiefling, like anyone that the biggest ones, it's out there.
just like Elvish.
Just
Yeah.
making
Don't.
sure. Don't fucking go in the water.
Do not go in this water. And the rest of you, while Pen is wandering dangerously close to the water, this main square is, like, from what you can see, the busiest part of this city. Like, even the individual pieces on the floating islands don't seem as bustling as the central pieces, and you get to feel it's because, you know, the cable cars come through here, and then this is the only piece that isn't really moving. So it's sort of a central hub of, like, what's going on in the city. And there are small buildings underneath the willow's branches, because the willow has obviously, you know, this umbrella shape, and around all of the trunk and the leaves in that space, there's roads built and like small buildings that have government duties.
Duties.
I said duties, correct. Yes. Poopies from the government.
Oh,
I'm really
No.
tired. I'm sorry.
D&D's canceled again. Okay.
Well, I guess that's it.
On that note.
On that note, it's been good. No. Yeah, and there are sort of docking stations, kind of, on all 4 sides of this square to sort of get onto the rotating platforms as they go by. They go by like really slowly. Like, it's not like you have to even walk to catch them. Like, you can step on and have enough confidence to not be like, oh god, am I gonna make it?
Mary's still going to jump.
Yeah, but yeah, there's plenty of boarding platforms, and you sort of follow Star and Thorn's lead as they enter through the city, and Star begins like babbling on about like all of the like the systems created to like rotate the water and the floating islands, and essentially you get this synopsis, I guess is the word I'm looking for, that this is sort of the water plant for most of the surrounding cities.
Hmm.
Like, there's probably several of these cities, but this was the one for this side of the continent.
Hmm.
And this is actually like a not necessarily spring, but it creates water.
Okay. I just so many spells flashed in my mind. Just the yeah. they're out there.
Yeah.
But all right. I have to ask. The lily pads.
What about
Do
them?
they have sentience the same way other plants do for merit?
They're not actually made out of plant material. There are plants growing on them, but they're not giant lily
It's not
pads.
single. Okay, thank you.
It's for the aesthetic.
Yeah. Like, they're definitely meant to mimic them, but they're not lily pads.
Okay, I was very afraid that it was sort of like being on a giant turtle for merit. Just plant. It's all the same entity, and Merit's just like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, no. You're good.
Okay. Not real definitive, this map.
You say this and give Ruslan a look, and he just kind of, like, shrugs, like, what can you do?
Reverence points
it's
at the
fair.
bird and says, I like this guy.
Thank you.
What is that? I'm trying to click on it and it won't let me boop it. I wonder why. Oh god, I opened a thing. Whoops.
The bird.
No, this thing in the corner.
It's still not Rizlan's handwriting, right? So he definitely didn't draw that bird, which makes me sad.
I mean, hard to say.
Hmm. So how old are these maps, Rizlan?
A couple of years. Why?
I was interested in the blood.
I mean,
That's a sentence that you said.
You
said that.
You said that I'm interested in the blood, right?
Yeah. Pen said that with their mouth. With their mouth words.
We've come full circle
Disgusting.
where when we first started, we were all convinced Pin might be a serial killer. That's just being really nice. It's coming around again. Okay, anyway.
In what way are you interested in the blood?
Reverence looks concerned.
Pen just shrugs.
Well, it's not my blood.
Good to know.
Whose?
He makes like a... I guess he makes a zipper motion. Are zippers invented yet?
Are they?
That's up to you, my friend.
That's a you problem, homie.
That's
is a you problem.
What's the thing? Zippers could be invented, but you guys just don't fucking know about that.
That's also true. We're all
Yeah.
He makes a
mostly
lock
dumb.
motion. That's good enough. On his mouth.
There we go.
Face.
Reverence nods sagely. Ah, yes. The lock. I understand.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
She didn't say that. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what this
Um,
taco thing is.
I mean, I thought it was
Taco?
something.
I thought it was a
scathing.
sea monster.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
I
it
do
is, but it
too.
also
This
looks
one.
like a taco.
It does.
I
look
mean,
like a
kind of.
taco.
Now that you've said it,
A
but
taco that 4 potato chips live in.
well, no,
Yummy.
well, yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say it could be lettuce, but that's too round to be lettuce. You're
See,
right.
I
Anyway,
was seeing like a little tiny sun or like a valley for some reason.
With like some birds.
Yeah, not
Sea
birds, but birds. Sea taco.
Taco. Let's see. Fish taco.
Oh my god.
It's just a fish taco.
It's a fish taco, you're alright. All of you. Exactly. You got it. You solved my taco puzzle.
God.
It
Okay.
makes sense that you, Del Taco, would have a taco puzzle.
God, it's just...
Oof.
You're getting real close to actually Reverence being struck down and Pin following. On principle.
You know, it's about fucking time, so.
Do you want to reroll a character?
No, I'm just surprised she's made it this long.
She almost didn't. Let's not forget the goblins. Anyway.
I know.
Oh, she's trying her best.
She's
On her
not
best
very
to
good.
die.
I guess you could put it that way. Yeah.
I mean, she's an adventurer. In any case. So, where should we even begin?
I mean, would you like to investigate the city?
Kind of, yes.
You are allowed to do that. Would you like to do it alone? Or split the party? Or take everyone?
Please
I'd
leave
like to
Pen
bring a
somewhere.
friend.
Otherwise, they're going to jump into that water.
No, yeah, someone needs to supervise Pin. Please, we can't lose them.
Would
They're
you
too
like
precious.
to use your phone a friend option? You only have one, so choose one.
This entire campaign. So are you sure you want to use it here?
God. I mean, it's up to everyone. Merritt's probably. We should probably stick at least loosely to Star. Quite possibly Thorn, although Thorn won't really respond to us if he helps us be led through here. Because he just does not.
I will say, Thorn will not leave Star's side.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's mid.
Mom.
I mean, we do also have Rizlon, although quite apparently he is not very excited about this place. I assume a few years hasn't stopped him from hating this circle of just lily pads.
You can ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, so Rizlon, what is up with that cute little bird saying I hate this place?
I
Fuck
just fucking
this.
hate this place. I thought it would be obvious. I'm not a fan of this one.
Well, if it's been a few years, but
Understand,
Everything is
I do-
spinning all the time, and it's never moving, and you feel it in your sleep. It's a bit like sleeping on a boat all of the time, and
Oh.
also
Robert's
just
face is
confusing.
Like,
It's very
Yeah,
difficult to
I can
traverse.
see,
All of the
you know.
circles just keep moving, and I just want to go and search through the city, and then
Nowhere
before you know it, it's
place,
just
you
all over
gotta
the place.
know
And
which lily pad has the certain thing you want on it.
yes,
Yes, this sounds like a bitch.
as soon
What
as he
is the
said
reasoning?
it's like being on a boat all the time, Reverence was like,
Mm.
I mean it definitely doesn't feel like you're on a boat. Is the thing? Like you can't really notice the movement.
Really? I feel like it'd be worse.
The
'cause,
water
like,
is
the-
very smooth.
I don't know. I trust Rizlon
Yeah,
more than I
but-
trust you.
like the platforms
All
be
right.
bumping into each other and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't you feel that?
I feel like the further
Um,
out you are, the faster it would go and the more uncomfortable it would be.
Zoom.
It's
Yeah.
possible. Yes. The circles don't have like as much room as they are shown on the map. Like they don't like bump into each other like bumper cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Hot new sport.
City.
Bumper pads.
It's just a citywide event for each city on
Yeah.
Oh man. Alright, so this said, do we want to split into?
Okay.
I don't think it's
so,
the best idea, but
are
also
we looking for anything specific? Because if we're not, we should stick together. If we're just checking out the city, it's best we probably stick together. Especially considering how Rizlan explains the city to be absolute hellhole.
I mean, worst case, we all just work our way back to the middle is also the thing, but
Yeah. But again,
I
what,
just proceed
what
altogether.
exactly are we looking for right now?
Merrick gets slightly not flustered, like exasperated look and just shrugs. This was a lot less straightforward than I had hoped.
Merritt, I adore you, but you did not think this through.
No, I know. Not my wisest choice. I'm aware. Thank you for coming with me, and I'm so sorry.
I do love you, but my God.
Noah turns to Star and says, "Well, you're probably the biggest expert here, so honestly, we all trust your best judgment."
Help us, be lady.
Well, since we're not really looking, she sort of like debates with herself for a few moments, before saying, I think it might be best if we stick together.
Noah nods.
She's a good mom.
I love her.
Pen?
Pen is laying down, just staring at the water. Not like leaning out over the edge a whole lot, just their face over the edge, staring very intently.
It's reasonable. It's just let's be clear here. Most of us are aware that Dan can just sort of shift into a creature and Neum.
Oh,
We could lose them in the water, so
Nor has his hands out ready to grab Pen.
Merrick goes over to the edge, near with Pin, and also sort of just looks down at the water.
You see nothing. It's dark.
Fuck, dude, it sure is. All right.
Okay, it sure is.
It's just real dark.
It's like looking into deep ocean water.
Merritt's only been out. Well, okay, yeah. I was about to say he's.
You've been on a boat for a while now.
Yeah. No, it's been a grip. I started saying a thing, and then I remembered he's been
On a boat
boats.
several times.
Several, yeah. God.
Hey,
Anyway,
I have a question.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't understand how this shit works, but like, if there was no light around us, say it was dark, how would night vision affect the water?
Well, water has
Or dark
like
vision.
stuff in it,
Yeah.
and air doesn't. So I think you would still be able to see in like deep, dark water, but it would be much shorter.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say it'd be like 30 or 20 feet as opposed to, or maybe if you're in the water.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
The water has like stuff in it.
It does.
I mean, that's.
Fuck, man, it sure do.
Yeah.
Water
Yeah.
is water.
Sure do.
God. So yeah. Just further squinting, it sure is just water.
Yeah. It doesn't look like there's any life in it. It's probably not. There's probably not fish in there, considering Star did tell you this was the source of water for the
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah.
Noah poked a claw in the water.
It's water.
It's water.
It is water.
It is, in fact, aqua.
Agua.
You sure like pure H2O.
Oh my god. You're right, it's H2O, actually. You turn into a fly?
He's already a fly.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay. Noah sticks his face in the water.
It's water!
Oh god.
Now you're
The water's really far down.
I mean,
It's
are
5
you,
foot
what are you trying
down.
to do? Are you just, like, refreshing
in there.
yourself? You're looking in the water?
Yeah.
Make a perception check. With disadvantage because your eyes are now under the water.
Yeah.
It's also 5 foot down.
Like,
Yes.
why do I? He's 8 foot tall.
I mean, he's 7.
I mean, I imagine
So
at
he's
this point
hanging
you...
by his feet?
I thought you had gone to the lily pad.
No, I don't know if.
Also, Pen, you could, there are parts where you can, like, get close enough to the water.
Okay.
So, like, he could do it. It would still be a stretch, kind of, but also he's a giant man.
Let him live his life.
Fucking 7 perception. What the hell?
You look into the water, and, you don't
Oh,
really see anything. It's blurry and dark, and there's no system of lights, so it just kind of is deep water.
Okay.
Reverend
Dude,
is just
sure
watching
is.
you. Like
I
what?
was thinking outside of the box, but I think it's really stupid
It's
what I was about to
really
think
just-
up.
Don't fucking get in the water.
I'm not. I'm just.
There's signs saying not to.
Star is pointing to
not-
all
no.
20 signs that say do not get in the water.
He's not getting in the water.
I thought you did
I'm just
stick
wondering,
your face in
If he
still.
freezes some ice, does
Don't.
it make the ice clear so you can look
Oh my
through
god.
it?
No.
Not, that's
That's
not
not
how that
how ice
works.
This is
You ever
stupid.
seen an
That's not-
iceberg?
This is not how shit works, and no, I'm not thinking right. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
I mean, out of the box is
No,
the
it's
worst thing
done
for
being
D&D, but
stupid.
not here when there's apparently
mostly.
nothing.
I mean, you can think I'm fine with you guys thinking out of the box and doing dumb shit, but Chance, ice isn't see-through.
If it's see-through,
you
you're
prove
going
it?
to die and
Are
go
you gonna turn it all to ice and then just make the second ice age and also a drought? I don't know.
I think we can leave the water
We're-
alone.
Yeah,
We're
Pen's
done.
gotten up by this point.
Yeah.
Come on. We got it.
So
can
where are we
go.
going?
good.
Pen asks Star specifically since Merritt doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Doesn't know shit about fuck.
Oh, well, you said your father was a magician?
Yes, akin to that. Scholar, so on.
A magician.
A magician? Did he have any other career purposes, skills, anything?
Not that I'm specifically aware of. He was there and had met my mother for a specific.
He thought?
He had met my mother under specific researching, I believe, but
Researching, alright.
Alright, yeah. Reverend looks at Mary like,
We're all thinking.
go pick the vague words. Anyway, but he continues and says, but I don't know if what he might have specifically been looking for here, or what he specifically specialized in. It's too young to have noticed at the time.
Well, we can ask around. There are other, there are plenty of magical-based systems within Sekoh, of course. I believe part of the water filtration system is run by mages.
Huh.
Let's go there.
I suppose we
Sound-
could. Yes.
Sounds like something. If nothing else, we can continue on to the next city. By morning or nightfall, depending on how long it takes.
More trains. Whew. Okay. Let's the city first.
Yeah. Alright, so...
What?
That-
Excuse me?
I was thinking and I made that horrible sound and I apologize.
Suddenly Moira?
Oh no.
Oh no!
So Star turns into Moira.
You gonna piss on me?
Great, no, I
No!
still am in love with her.
oh no.
So yeah, you all descend onto the lily pads, and you are let out. It takes a while to travel, of course. It's a giant city, as always, and each lily pad, it seems to be sort of like separate districts of city. Like you go on one and it's all like bakeries and like delis and different sorts of like food creation, and then you go on a different one, it's all houses and so on and so forth through different districts of cities, and you make your way out, and it does take a while to the outer rim of the city.
Baby train. Hold hands.
It's kind of like every time you get to where two lily pads are like touching enough that people are crossing, it's kind of like when a train is crossing and you're just like, quickly, let's go. And all of their like traffic has been held up just to let people cross between. And you make your ways out to, give me my ruler, this section right here, out on the furthest wall of this large square pillar, and as you get closer, you do notice that like these pillars on this city specifically, you didn't really notice on the others, seem to be connected to the dome in a different way, and they each have this like large notch cut out of them to allow the like lilies to rotate underneath the actual cement slash stone-esque material that they're made out of. Sorry, I'm burping. And as you arrive like in here, you manage to go under the shelf of the first one, and there's actually a sort of docking station where like people are getting on and off, and they're all wearing the similar uniforms and that you recognize of the other like type of, I guess, imperial like jobs that seem to be throughout each city, or like assigned.
The government workers.
Yeah, the government workers. And they're all wearing like light gray suits, and they seem much more casual than like any of the guards or anyone else really has been. And they're like kind of on a break somewhere. Like there's this docking station is like a long platform with like a couple of rails and a couple of entrances, and like off to one side a couple of people are just sitting there eating sandwiches and like smoking something and like talking casually, and the other side like some people are moving some inventory and boxes upwards, and as you all sort of step on, they kind of like give you a look like, are you supposed to be here? But none of them stop you at all, and or even break conversation. And
on break ain't our problem.
basically, yeah.
That's
You get
a
the
big
sense.
mood.
And Star sort of like glances at them like they're gonna try and stop her, and then quickly just leads you all to this door that's against the wall, and she opens it up for you, and it's a set of stairs going upwards, and they seem to be like entirely sealed off by the stone cement, and she gestures for you to go up.
Pen goes
And-
first.
All right.
Very quickly falls because yeah, okay.
Yep.
We proceed.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone goes in, files in. All of the lighting in here is electric, tiny suns.
Tiny sons.
And you climb many flights of stairs before you reach any floor, to the point where you are starting to get like tired.
Is it like a central spire?
Yes, it's like when buildings have kind of like emergency stairs, I guess, that are just kind of off to the side and they just go all the way up and they're in a rectangle.
Mm.
Everyone give me a constitution check, I guess.
I mean, if this is for the stairs, I asked because I was going to see if Merritt could make himself and maybe one other person just fly.
You can do that. Yeah.
I'm proficient in stairs.
Because he can, let's see here.
No, I'm not.
You
Shit.
can target one additional creature for each slot above the third. He has 4th level spells. So who wants to go up? I'm a bit done here, so Merritt casts fly on himself and just sort of looks. I assume from the 6, Reverence already looks worn out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He touches Reverence and
Reverence
they-
looks tired.
they-
Kevin stands up
House
one
Castle
stair
fly.
and then dies.
It's been foretold throughout this entire session. It's time. But it's not with a bolt of lightning.
Oh,
But yeah,
well.
he
Stairs works too.
takes his friend and it's like, here. And they both start flying. How's Mooncastle style, except up.
Yeah. Penn is jumping 3 at a time,
Oh!
which is really impressive because these stairs are not made for gnomes. They're human-sized stairs.
They like walking.
Everyone else pretty much just kind of has a rough time. Yeah, Merritt just kind of blasts past all of you like, see you later, and Penn's like, cool, I'm gonna catch up, jump, 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 and the rest of you are like, oh god.
He could only cast it on one person. I like to believe he went up one flight of stairs and was just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not meant for this, and then you.
So yeah. Merritt and Reverence, you make it there first, Penn makes it there third, second, whatever. The rest of you take like another 15 to 30 minutes to get up there, so...
Merritt cheers you on in the distance, but does not actually help.
Do you want to wait, or would you like to continue? Those of you that got to the top first.
Merritt does wait.
If Merritt's waiting, Penn's gonna go back down the stairs.
Oh my god.
and I guess Noah's looking real tired. Penn's gonna turn into a giant lizard and help him out. He can just fly. I don't know what the shit is.
I mean,
I
either.
No, I thought about that. I don't think there's enough room.
There's
That's what I
definitely
was
not, but I
thinking.
was excited for you to try.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try that.
If Noah is not the most tired looking, if Rizlan or the other two are feeling it.
there's-
No,
Penn's
they're
gonna-
professionals.
They can walk like normal people.
They're tired, but like not lagging behind. They're definitely in the front of the group, and like, come on, guys, it's just another 3 flights.
But where's my question is where's Lilith?
Yeah, that's what I
Oh
was
my
also
god, where's
about.
Lilith?
Because that
Give
can
me
make
a
a difference to
Constitution check for
Noah.
Lilith.
Oh no!
I
Say what?
can't carry Lilith.
Give me a Constitution check for Lilith.
Oh, fine. Luckily, her cost.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah,
She's
her
Lilith is
dancing on
also
by.
like doing like a little dance, kind of like, we're going
love
somewhere.
Oh my
I
god.
can see it. Just
And she like
wah, wah,
jumps
wah,
up and then waits at like the flight end of every
Yeah.
single set of stairs for Noah to like stomp up and be like, ah, 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 and then all goes, "Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." Come on.
I love her.
Lilith is the best
She's a
character.
blessing.
Oh my god.
It's just like
Follow closely behind
the
Becky.
Witch of the Waste, kind of like tiring at the end of the stairs, and then the fucking dog running up.
Yeah. God, Justine, just sort of. I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Lilith.
You all get to the top eventually, though. Can't wait to get back down. The top floor is the only one that has like a door on it, and it's a larger landing. And at this, you've definitely passed people like going up and down, and they all give you looks, but they don't. None of them stop you. And you get to this top floor, and it is another door that has like a small window into it. And Star, after like everyone gathers up at the beginning, at the top again, and Star opens the door and enters, and it is a like basically this entire like rectangle is the size of this room that you enter. It's very large, and there are these
biggest hallway.
it's also very like tall. It's very like it's a hall essentially, just like a giant room, and there are these massive wheels spinning and turning water, and a lot of people like going about their business and just like talking, and it's all very like there's professional, but they're also like casual about it. Like there's people like having a conversation about what they're gonna have for dinner over like as they're doing their work, and like some people are just kind of chatting and like going about their business. And again, people like give you looks like, are you lost? Do you need assistance? But no one offers.
Giant lizard this time. You're helping.
And Star also looks a little bit lost, like she didn't expect to get this far. Before sort of like taking assessment of this room, and then gesturing to one end, there's a sort of like foreman office almost, like above, elevated above these wheels that you can see on the far end. And she turns to all of you and says, "Should we talk to them?"
Seem to be mostly in charge, so probably yes. Us, Lilith, and Pin. Oh, Pin. Pin's gonna ride out the giant lizard thing the rest of this time.
We've got 3 hours.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Alright,
Go.
so yeah, you all begin heading back past all of the giant wheels towards the office. And like at this point, several people are staring at you, and actually like someone who's like working the controls of this wheel, it's sort of like a weird panel of buttons and switches that aren't really labeled, so you don't understand them. And they kind of like glance up from their panel and look at you and go, "Hey, no animals in the water filtration plant!" And Star just kind of like starts walking faster.
In common or like?
They see this in common.
Okay. There was
why
no obvious
did
signs.
anybody say anything the whole time? We were coming up the stairs.
Why are you? This is not public. This is. Someone get the foreman.
I'm
Okay, we're
sorry.
here to ask him a question anyway.
Yes.
Is the foreman in charge? Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Merritt doesn't know what the hell that means!
What is a foreman? Does he have a 4 on his shirt?
I don't even know what a foreman is.
So yeah, at this point, like, the commotion's picking up, and people who are just, like, kind of standing by are now getting ordered by their bosses to be like, oh shit, okay, we're gonna crowd you in, I guess! And they're kind of, like, gathering around you and, like, don't, that's a big bear, it's got a beak! It's got a beak! And, like, there's definitely no one getting close enough to Lilith to do anything about you guys, and also Lilith, like, Pen, they're giving weird looks, but they're less afraid of Pen for some reason.
I mean, owlbears.
They've seen lizards.
Yeah.
Lizards exist. But yeah, at this point, Star has also been stopped and has kind of been herded back and is like, oh, okay, yep, hello. And, like, there's still
What
people.
are you doing? Cat!
There's a cat in here. No, there's no cat.
Someone else let a cat in. What?
Look what you've done!
Get out of the bag!
It followed you up the 8 flights of stairs and you didn't notice.
It's a friend. Merit made a new friend.
No, there's no cat. No friends from
There
there.
is one.
All right, well your
I
cat
love you,
doesn't
Bartleby.
count.
It's not Bartleby.
It's
either.
the other
Oh.
one.
Other cat?
More cats?
There's another one?
Mm-hmm.
They multiplied?
What?
Mm-hmm.
You have another cat?
Mitosis.
Maximize cats.
It's the outside cat that I've had. For...
Oh, yeah.
She's
Oh.
inside though, because it's cold as fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, understandable. Have a nice
we're-
day, cat.
Nice people who don't leave our outside cat
That's-
to freeze.
Is that your mama cat?
Yeah, it's my mama cat.
Good. Okay, sorry.
She's unruly. She's wild.
She just wants to be warm.
She is.
Let her be warm.
She is warm. She's worm.
Let her be worm. Anyway, no worm cats. You'll get like corralled into a group around the center, sort of away enough from the door that you can't escape, but still like not where you want to be.
We can't flee. This is
And
killer.
someone runs up to the foreman's office, and you can see there's someone. There's a figure standing up there. You can see there seem to be like a darker skinned elf, and someone like quickly explaining like there's I don't know where these people came from. Like they're just kind of like you just see them like gesturing to you and like kind of panic, and then like okay, calm down. Holds up the hand, and they follow out with this person, and you see this elven man approach in the same sort of uniform, but they have like a little badge affixed to their uniform as the other ones have, and it's
It
like
says fucker in charge of all these fuckers.
it says "fucker in charge of all you fucks." It just says it's like a water drop,
Head bitch in charge.
and he kind of looks at you all with a frown, and he's just like, "So, can I help you?"
Perhaps. I'm not exactly from here. I wasn't aware we'd cause such a commotion.
This is not open to the public. This is the main source of water for many people. It's actually very illegal. And at this
Then why
point,
did they
Star's
just
like,
let us walk
"Ugh."
If it's illegal, shouldn't you have better security? We did just like walk in here. We have a giant bear, hard to miss.
I mean, I think it's just sort of. I suppose that is our fault, but
there
it's
wasn't
similar.
even any signs.
No guards, no signs.
No
I really
guards?
think this is a
It's
huge
just
problem.
It's just implied. I mean, you wouldn't go into any door you see.
You don't know
well,
me.
well,
Oh my goodness!
all of us are like, well, you don't know. Sometimes we gotta know what's behind the door. But
Well, and they sort of like hold the bridge of their nose and like, okay, it is our fault. I will admit to that. So we will let you off with a warning and not an arrest.
Thank you. And I'm sorry we stepped on grounds we shouldn't have.
Can I?
But-
Why are you here?
Merritt,
Just
Here.
grab Barrett, shove him to the front.
that's what this entire like arc has been. Just shove me.
yeah, just shove her.
We were about here to ask a question, or more specifically, myself. I've been looking for a missing man for some time, by the name of Valeron Brightwood.
Did he work here?
Perhaps he was a scholar interested in Sekoh, but I know not where specifically.
Well, we do have mages that care for the more delicate pieces of our machinery, and they sort of gesture to a couple people who are you don't know really what they're doing, but they're standing at each wheel, and they kind of like a couple of them wave.
Rowan plays back.
Pen wants to
And
wave.
and it's a
More wave.
lizard.
Pin just bleps.
Ri-
However, do you know? It's mostly elemental types of magic, though. Would your missing person be interested in that?
Unfortunately, I'm not so sure, but I can't help but to ask.
Well, I have never heard of this person, so I would
Mages.
I would
I
be
thought it'd be pertinent to at least ask.
yes. Well, perhaps next time, try with the police.
I think my connection's going bad because you sure did cut out.
He said next time try with the police.
Well, like we haven't exactly. It's understandable. I'm sorry to disrupt your work day. Still,
We
Just
are
let me
very
ask.
sorry. We will get out of your hair now. Thank you for
Thank
just
you.
letting us off for the warning.
Merritt politely bows. You know, sort of-
Rowan doesn't look
lifts his hat
sorry.
and- Of course she doesn't.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
so-
please, and they turned to the person who like ran up and got them. Escort this to the other level, please. And they're like, "Yep, okay. Please come with me." And this smallish human like runs over quickly and holds open the door that you just climbed up through.
All right. Has it been 10 minutes? Actually, no, it probably has been.
Yeah, it's 10.
I'm waiting. All right. All right. We proceed.
Yeah. Yeah, you walk all the way back down the stairs. It's easier than going up, but you know, you're tired already, so. And, you get back
Do I
out.
need to make a constitution check now? Going down?
No, I'll say you're good.
Okay.
You get back down to, like, the floor level, and, the person who led you down sort of, like, tips her hat slightly, and then looks to the people who are on break and, like, eating their sandwiches in the corner, and they quickly, like, straighten up, and they're like, and, like, one of them throws whatever they were smoking over the edge. And they just kind of point to them and go, "Don't let people in this door!" And they're like, yes, sir, okay." Right away. And then the human just kind of like gives them a frown and nods and then looks back to you and just, "Sorry, okay, goodbye." And just closes the door. And the people on break immediately like relax again and go back to eating. It has been
Looks forlornly over the side where they threw whatever they were smoking.
It has been like an hour since you've been up there. They've been on break for like an hour.
Oh shit!
Like it's the same people since we
Yeah,
went
it's the
up.
same. They haven't moved.
God, I wish that was me.
Oh goodness.
And Star kind of looks at all of you like concerned and goes, "I'm so sorry. I didn't. They just let us in."
They
Yeah.
really did.
Also, Star, what did you think we would like? What was the thought process of coming here? Anyway?
What was the
I
game
don't know.
plan?
What was the game plan there? Because I can't quite understand.
Hey Star, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, no one else seemed to have any ideas.
This
You
is true.
have a point. Well, I guess we ought to all try to check in, I guess. Throw in some kind of fucking 2 cents.
Oh god.
Library? Police? I don't fucking know. Let's try the library this time again. Maybe we'll get some luck this time.
You can
Get
find
the
a
city.
library.
This time. We all learned a lesson here. They learned they need to put up more postage. We learned that's not where to look. So, let's continue.
We learned that we can get anywhere by just looking like we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
I mean,
from
that's
this.
true about real life.
Yeah, that is how life works. So,
I've definitely gone places I wasn't supposed to go because I looked like I knew I was supposed to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess you're gonna look for a library?
once again,
Library time. Everyone roll a perception.
Reverence is like internally, not outwardly. Fucking y'all, I can't read good. Stop taking me
There's
to reading
signs
places.
in Infernal. Tieflings are rampant here.
Oh
Ooh,
shit, you're right.
boy.
Never mind, Reverence is excited.
Oh my god. Oof.
Hmm.
Reverence is too excited to look.
Well, Noah sure got an nat 20. So, you go out on your journey once more, looking for a library this time. You cross several lily pads that sort of have like a general like library building type of feel. Like there's adjacent buildings that are like, oh, this one's a bookstore. It's not exactly what we want. There's like a computer thing.
we
I
don't
guess-
know what the fuck that is.
You don't know what those are? There's another iStone store. Eventually, though, you get to a sort of downtown area that is on one of the much larger lily pad structures, and you manage to find a library. It's definitely not as big or extravagant as the other one that you were in. It's one floor. It's much smaller, and there's much less like people and staff in it, but it is an appropriate amount, I guess, for the size. And there's a tiefling behind the desk who is sort of like sorting through a lot of papers.
Alright. Dare we ask to begin? Again. Okay. Here. I'm gonna learn any more than I did the last time. Sure did end up in the biography section. Anyway. Yeah. Mare goes up and... excuse me.
Hold on a moment. And just like flip, so many. There's a desk here somewhere, but you don't know where it is under all of. And they sort of gather up a large bundle, not neatly at all, and just kind of toss it onto the floor and like smooth their hair back and go, "How can I help you?"
I was more so just wondering if you've had a visitor about. A man named Delaron Brightwood. Human, about this tallish, for care.
They kind of slowly lean back, looking thoughtfully while making that sound.
Yeah.
Honestly, these poor fucking work people that we bother all the goddamn time. I don't remember a single fucking person I talked to today.
They after a few moments of that and like continually declining like backwards, they kind of drum their fingers on the desk and sit up and spin around a few times and then like start digging through some papers behind you, and you think for a moment they've just like started ignoring you until they grab out this massive book that is like the size of pen.
Oh
And
shit!
they just kind of like lug it over to you and slam it down on all of these papers, and several of them go scattering, and they go, and quickly start grabbing them out of the air.
Yeah, Merritt tries to help with that if they flutter near him.
They go,
Okay.
oh, thank you so much. There's so many people. Okay, here's this book is everyone that's been in this library and done anything in it, and also a list of all of the authors and books. I suppose you could look through it.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
how to get started? Get
That
reading,
active hire
team.
is also Merritt, because there's a brief part of him that remembers himself looking through that Sekoh book, and he feels like crying. He's like, "Oh God, this is so much."
It is in alphabetical order.
That's better. But yeah, Merritt
Reverend
sort of-
just kind of sidestep from behind Merritt and just raises her hand up a little bit and is like, "Can you point me towards things written in Infernal?"
They just sort of give you a look before gesturing behind them vaguely.
anywhere. Look for it. Is there any like surface beyond this desk made of paper that, like, near it but not on it?
Yeah,
Where-
there's like tables set up. Like some of them have like books that are like waiting to be sorted by librarians or such, and some people are at them. But there's like plenty of tables that you could go put these books down.
Okay. So Merritt takes it, I appreciate it, and sits near. That way they can see that he still has it and everything. But
As Pen wanders by, the librarian goes, "Oh my god,
if it makes you feel
Don't
any better,
let-
it's not actually a giant lizard. That's a gnome. That's a giant lizard.
Oh.
They're just sort of hanging around.
oh my god, okay, don't need any books!"
Probably won't.
Reverend is
Okay.
gone.
So yeah, Merritt.
Noah goes up to Mary and goes, "So you need any help?"
Maybe it should help that it goes in alphabetical order, but we'll
Yeah.
find out.
Still, this is gonna be a bitch.
Yeah. If you have nothing
Yeah.
specific you want to look for here, help would be appreciated, but I won't stop you from not helping.
Look, we're here because of you, and I really want to get this done. We've been just kind of wandering about a whole lot.
This is your
I
fault,
know.
and I want to leave.
That's not
God
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
Merritt know. God doesn't Merritt know. Yeah.
It's just
Thank
the
you,
wandering
and I'm
about
so
so
sorry.
much is no, don't be sorry, man. It's just the whole wandering around with not knowing what to do in terms of the whole crew. None of us can figure out what the fuck to do. It's just a lot. But we're going to get through this. So let's get to searching.
Yep. And if he isn't listed as a visitor per se, at least maybe if there's a book he's made, we can find it. Be interesting. So,
Find some sort of connection.
something other than Bright Woods are somewhere in Tenum. And so we proceed to look.
Okay, everyone who's looking for a book, roll investigation. Or looking through. That includes you both.
So
Yeah.
all of us just investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Pen's a lizard. And
Pen-
Pin is a lizard. I
Pen
almost
is
rolled
going, none of
intimidation.
these are in lizard language.
No.
none of these books say lizard on the front.
Reverence,
Reverend can't read.
Reverence, you find books. they're all like almost all of this library is in some form of infernal. Like a lot of these books seem to have been rewritten with like translations on every page so that every book is an infernal. And
Or
it's
Infernal City.
it's so overwhelming that you just kind of start grabbing books without even looking at them, just like, oh wow, I know these letters.
Bless her heart. Oh, she's so dumb.
Pen, you can't read lizard, I guess. Can't find any good lizard-sized books, and it's frustrating when you're good at it.
Actually, like for like druids, they can still like they still have the same things,
Yeah, but
right?
it's funnier
Oh, no, they
this way.
absolutely do.
Yeah, but it's funnier this way.
Yeah, but I also like to believe that Pin just can't really get them out without harming or like licking.
That is good. Actually, you know what? Can you find the book you're looking for, and you just lick it, and you're like, you stick your hand onto it because you're like, oh, my hands are sticky. This will work. And your hand is way too big, so you stick it onto the next 5 books, and you're just like stuck to your hand, and you're like shaking it around.
The poor librarian will lose it. She told her not to eat any books.
Pen is trying very hard not to eat the books.
Merritt and Noah,
Oh.
you both spend a good amount of time, like 30 minutes looking through this book. Even with alphabetical order, it's just so big, and there's like, you get to this section where it's just like, Alaron, Alaron, Alaron,
No!
how many are there? And, also, each of these, sections is listed in 4 languages.
Oh,
And, you do notice your names are now in this book?
Magic.
magic!
Oh yeah, you know.
But,
I was really hoping it was like surname first. That way it would be like Brightwoods. But no,
no,
it's where we are now.
it is unfortunately not. Yeah, you go looking through them, and, you'll find no trace of Alaron in any of the books, and, he doesn't seem to have been a visitor.
This is wonderful.
I want to know how our names are listed in the book. Does it say reverence?
Yes. Oh,
It does.
Interesting.
Does Nor?
Yes.
You scared me for a minute there.
Only Nor.
Got a little bit nervous.
is it just Merit or?
I mean, Merritt wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't that. Like, if it was a different name, Merritt wouldn't have noticed it, so...
That's true.
Yeah, you are all listed by the names you have given,
Wonderful.
including Star and Thorn and Rizlan Lorad.
Excellent.
But yeah, you, unfortunately for Leslie, return the book to the library, and they kind of look you over as you're like, just take it back. And,
Merit hasn't stopped looking like he kind of wants to cry. Not exactly, but just that, that frustration, just like, oh.
Yeah, just like on the edge.
Yeah.
Like,
the librarian kind of hesitates for a moment before, I don't usually do this, but you look very sad and it's making me feel bad.
Don't trip this morning.
They take the large pen-sized tome back and kind of like place it next to them on the floor, and it's level with the counter standing up, kind of. Or what would be the counter under the piles of paper that they still haven't really sorted through, but are kind of binding up regardless. We have a very special section of books, but we're not supposed to let them out really. But follow me, and they kind of jump over the counter.
I love this librarian.
I love them too. I missed half of that again because Discord hates me, but I heard follow me, and I'm like, okay.
They said they weren't supposed to let the books out, but
Ah,
follow me.
okay.
And they lead you to the back of the library and kind of like nervously glance at the other librarians who don't really pay them attention. You know, you're just a librarian taking them to the books. But they take you to this to the back room essentially of the library, and it's like it's been gated off kind of, and they like just stick a key in the gate and unlock it. And it's not even like a gate that would stop you guys if you wanted to go through. It's just kind of like a general, please don't cross this gate.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the stairs.
It's the stairs with a sign that say don't go up here. But yeah, they lead you into this back room, and Noah
Kill
and
us
Merritt
immediately.
they take out a gun and kill you. They take you to this back room that is filled with shelves of dusty old books, and it smells like dust and mothballs, and it's like the air is like thicker almost in here because it just hasn't been around. And they flip on the switch that turns on the internal suns, the little suns, and the room lights up quickly, and they kind of nervously look around at the books and then turn to you and say, so this is where we keep the magical books that have generally been outlawed unless you're the government, but I can't let you take them out, but you can look through some of them, and I think you said you're looking for someone.
Yes.
I think I know what I can help. And they go towards the back, and all of these books are like, some of them are well preserved, like some of them are in almost these like glass cases and like
Mhm.
well taken care of, and some of them are just like thrown on the shelves. There's scrolls on the floor.
As they proceed, Merritt goes, well, I mean, he wasn't listed in the visitor log that you had there, but
And you just kind of see like their tail flicking around as like books kind of go scattering by as they dig through this pile until they eventually pull up this. It's still a large book. It's not pen sized, but it's like a good 1.5 feet and like 6 inches deep. And they kind of like quickly wipe off like any dust on it, like blow on it and like flip through the pages to like shake out the dust, and then they turn it over to you and say, now this is special. It will show you who you're looking for if you ask.
show me.
Noah's face just
The
Like-
bridge voice just light up. Like, oh god!
you know the moment when like someone is just you're just on the verge of defeat, and then all of a sudden you pull
Have
through.
hope.
You see the light of
Yeah.
hope,
Yeah.
and this librarian is that light for Noah right now.
Yes, exactly.
And he just goes, I just want you to know, you are such a blessing.
Hashtag blessed.
So kind.
Well, we'll see. You should use it first.
Yes,
True.
but still, thank you for the
I'm not
death.
sure you'll be liking
Yeah.
it as much.
The fact that you're helping at all when this might could get you in trouble is gracious enough.
Exactly.
I appreciate it. He's been gone. He's been missing for some time. I just hadn't known where to look before. But might as well use it. Right. So, Merritt tentatively grabs the book.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we can just okay.
Yeah, they give it to you without any
Yeah.
resistance.
Just like he feels like he shouldn't touch things unless he's explicitly given it in this room. So yeah, so he takes it and opens it.
All of the pages are blank.
You just say the name.
Well, and they take it back for you for a moment and close it and kind of go, show me Alan. And they open the book, and it's just a picture of them holding the book.
Oh, Alan. It's very good. Okay.
And they close the book again and give it to you.
Okay.
No, you're not mercenaries, right? I'm not. Okay, I'm not assisting in a murder, am I?
No.
No, you're fine.
Make persuasion checks.
Oh, good. Good. We're so good at this.
We're so good at this.
Please
on.
don't fail this
Please
after
don't.
saying that.
Please, dice.
Uh,
Oh, fuck.
Oof.
That's a 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Natural 3.
Merritt kind of stammers, and Noah just goes, "We're good people." Wink, and Alan just believes you.
I mean, the
Alan
stammer.
looks genuinely relieved and goes, "Oh, thank God."
I mean, the stammer is reasonable too because Merritt sure is. You aren't mercenaries, are you? Well.
Well, we have killed
Kinda
people.
people.
We have killed people for money, but
On occasion.
Kind of does that. This is a part of that. Anyway, that isn't what Merritt says, but that's sort of what he was
Yeah.
thinking.
They give you the book and look more relieved.
Yeah, so Merritt takes it and thinks, tries to summon up all the thoughts he has of there and just to like somehow help the magic. Says, "They're on. Show me they're on Brightwood." Opens the book.
Okay. The book opens in front of you, and you look at the pages, and it is a. The pages are colored over both of them, and you see a scene of your father. He does not look any different than the last time you saw him, which is catches you a little off guard, but it's clearly your father. You've definitely seen this man before, and he seems to just be sitting alone in a darkened brick hallway. The only thing keeping him company is a small sack of equipment and a torch, and he's sort of just writing in a small book.
There's no other discernible marks of
Make a perception
weakness
check.
or anything. Okay.
does Merritt know anything about stonemasonry? Can he place the
Can you
bricks?
identify the origins of this stonemason?
He sure doesn't. He goes, God. My dumbass son.
Give me a second as I look through my notes.
Finally, you can unravel these ones.
Okay. You stare at the image for a little while, and you are aware that this place seems to be almost underground, like dungeon-esque. Like, as you the longer you stare at this image, it's almost as if, you can feel yourself present there, like the air feels cold and damp, and you swear you heard like water drip on cold stone somewhere, and the fire like flickering in front of you, but you can't tell where it is.
Okay.
You can show this to other people as well. Like Noah, you can also see this image.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Merritt's not like holding it completely to himself.
Yeah.
Like, to no discern. Like, it's like, nope, this is mine entirely. But yeah. Merritt still just stares for, it's longer. Looks up to Alan. Alan, is that okay?
Mhm.
So he goes, and this is like essentially what it looks like right now. What he looks like right now.
This is present. Yep. The only downside is it doesn't say where.
Well, this is better than the next to nothing I had. I wasn't even sure if he was alive still, so it's something. Merritt's just looking like conflicted per se, but he's confused because the whole fact that this man doesn't look any different, although it sure has been
Like 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, Merritt doesn't. Yeah, just
Yeah, like-
roughly that.
Like, you... It's a vague understanding of how exactly humans age into older years, but you're pretty sure he should look older, and, yeah, it's very strange, and he doesn't, like, as you're watching him, I imagine you don't put this book down immediately at all. You haven't seen your father in 20 years. He's just kind of, like, every now and then glances around, like, as if to check that he is, in fact, alone, and then continues writing.
Huh. Merritt looks at Noah and back to Alan down at the book.
You said you haven't seen your father in 20 years or so, give or take, right?
10, 15, 20. It's been a great deal amount of time, yes.
And do you remember about his age that he was before?
Not the exact number, but he's well into his adulthood. He
Yeah.
should definitely be much more grayer than this. If
Yeah, my father was also human. That doesn't look quite right. Maybe your father just aged really fucking well, though. Maybe. You don't know.
Maybe you just got some good genes in you, man!
Yeah, man.
I'm 80, but I don't look a day over 20!
oh goodness,
But no, I seriously would keep that in mind.
Seriously, look at... Seek help. Go to a doctor.
God. Yeah, very well. Yeah. Could. Might have something to do with some of the magic he was researching, even. As well. Still. There's not much else I could learn from this unless I keep staring at it, which we don't have exactly that kind of time. Especially if you're about to get in trouble, friend. So. And Merritt does close it back, hand it back.
Does Noah want to look at the book?
I mean,
He's not, but he's gonna definitely remember about this.
So we're gonna come back a different time for Noah.
Maybe.
maybe so.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan takes the book back and kind of like clutches it to their chest.
Thank you very much. Again, it's still another something, and a confirmation that he lives yet, so I appreciate the help.
No problem. I hope you find him.
As do I. Merritt nods, sort of thankful and starts walking out.
Noah nods and thanks him, and very graciously. And asks if I were to,
What?
I feel bad for asking, but if
Oh, what is
I
it?
ever need to come back at another time and maybe look at that same book, would you mind?
Again, is it for killing people? Because I
It's-
cannot stress enough.
No, it's for it's also for finding someone, but it's more of a personal thing.
Says
That doesn't
mine
sound
isn't.
great, but
Well, I suppose if you came back here and asked for me, I can't promise any of the others will show you, but I would
Thank you.
mayhap.
I will. Thank you very much.
Then on.
He nods and goes off with Merritt.
All right.
Merritt was like halfway out the door, heard this, and I just imagined that, Merritt will remember this, the little telltale thing. Anyway,
I'm so
we
upset.
proceed.
I was hoping to learn some Noah backstory.
All right. Yeah, Alan stays behind to put the book back and rearrange the back a little bit after they just kind of dug through it all. But yeah, the rest of you, would you like to do anything else in the library?
God, someone help Ben.
Has it been 3 hours yet? Can I grab the book
Absolutely
with my...
not.
Dang
Pen
it.
now has like 12 books stuck to each of their feet.
Do we pass by and see Pin?
Pen is on their
Book
back.
monstrosity? Oh my god! If we see Pin, Merritt absolutely goes to help. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, Pin, what have you done? Merritt is the only one who can understand the giant lizard.
I just want to read the book.
Which one? You've collected so many, my friend.
It's still on the shelf.
Okay, well, let's return these Merritt's taking them off.
Pen crying lizard tears. It's just so close.
The Merritt, saves Pin, picks up the books, and sort of doesn't know in which order they go, so he just sort of places them on a shelf loosely, and proceeds to help Pin. It's like, okay, which one specifically? I'll get this out for you.
The red one, right? No, little to the left.
Uh,
Yeah,
that one?
no, yeah, that one.
Okay. Here you go. And Merritt places it on the ground at first, and then goes, I will actually turn those pages if you don't want to go back into it. Just let me put these ones actually away.
This is what love looks like. When your
This is
friend won't
beautiful.
stop being a lizard, so you have to turn all the pages for them.
God. Yeah, so Merritt loosely organizes those back. He doesn't quite know the system, but he loosely catches on and is just that. Yes, good enough. Okay. Pen. Right.
Pen is having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Merritt takes the book, and there's is there seating, or are we just sitting straight in the aisle? I mean, I imagine there's not lizard seating per se, but
Yeah, there's seating. There's just not lizard seating.
how giant is this giant lizard?
Big enough to carry a human.
Okay, yeah. So
So at least the size of a human.
at least Merritt sits to where there's room for Pin to be sort of as side so he can show them the book, but he can sit down and show them this book.
Pen's gonna curl up on Merritt, around him,
Okay.
and you can read it like a storybook.
Oh
For
my
me.
gosh.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Okay. I asked
So
how
y-
big this lizard was, because he would have done that if they were slightly smaller, but he could not carry them if
So
this.
yeah,
No, it's
Merritt, you sit down and a giant, just a lizard that could just eat you in one fucking gulp, just twirls around you, and sits its head on top of yours, and you hold the book up for both of you, and it is just the history of Lawn. Page 1. Ah, yes, the history of this city where it was created to be a water plant.
Any
Um,
juicy details?
Um, what? I guess the water was originally from a spring. However, the spring slowly began drying up, so they created these wells, essentially, that are just kind of ever creating water, and the water is similarly also always being pumped outwards towards other cities through underground tunnels.
Anything else about the water? And how
What are you
awesome it
looking
is?
for?
Uh,
I mean, it is literally like a fucking historic like I don't know how much patience Merritt has to read a literal history book. 100 pages?
After already reading so much shit.
and also holding the book up really high, so I'm sure his arms are getting tired.
Yeah.
At some point, like, he reads it off like a little while, and he goes, "Pin, it's already been a long day. You can read this by yourself. Yes, I will turn the pages, but can I stop?
Please.
Sure.
Okay." And so he like quarter of the way through, he just quietly like flips the pages. Every once in a while, there's an illustration, and he goes,
Wow, that's a cool drawing.
"Yeah, that's it. That's Merritt. God."
Yeah, you learn about the pumps, and they are like each powered by like a mage who like is essentially a waterbender
Sick.
Neat.
and just like forces the water through all of the engine stuff to like actually filtrate it. And there's a lot of like technology to it, like pumps and actual mills and stuff that generate electricity also from the water. But which you don't I guess you don't understand really what electricity is still, so
Yeah, it's like suns, right?
it's like suns and sometimes it comes out of water without magic. Weird. And so it's a lot of like technical stuff, I guess, if you're looking for the water part of like it, and I don't know how much patience you'd have for that or how much you'd understand.
Pen doesn't understand any of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you
So it's a
keep
good
pretending
time.
to understand what to read, and Merritt keeps just flipping the pages for you.
They're trying to learn.
Yeah. Nor, what have you been doing?
I mean, he's looking for books for a while, and so
Mhm. What kind of bug?
just looking around, wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, you go, "Oh, that's a pretty cover."
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of pretty covers, so that's fair.
Pretty clovers.
Clovers. There's so many clovers. This library's overgrown. Someone should take care of it.
Suddenly, we're in a field. This shit
Suddenly
was
you're just-
desert like 5 minutes ago.
What happened? Yeah. Does anyone else want to do anything? I guess.
No.
Does Reverence learn anything from
Does
the
Reverence-
plethora of books she just picked out?
Is Siren still here?
Mm-hmm.
Reverence learns some things, I'm sure. Not a lot, because I imagine Reverence literally just goes, "Oh, this book's infernal," and like picks it up and reads a couple pages and then looks up and goes, "That book's also an infernal," and then puts the other one down and picks the other one up and starts reading a few pages and goes, "That one's also an infernal," and it's just like a never-ending chain the entire time this other stuff is going on.
The librarians sigh, just watching her collect this pile that they're going to have to put back.
Yeah.
Because she's probably not going to remember where she got all these.
So yeah, you all finish up your time at the library. Penn, you learn a little bit about the city. Merritt knows that his fucking dad's alive, and we can leave this library now. So yeah, by the time you all leave, night has fallen. Like it's nighttime, and Star leads you all to some place to sleep and eat for the evening.
And as they leave the library, Mary absolutely everyone about the thing, the book. Like, hey, so he's apparently alive somewhere in a cellar or something. He's still writing a lot. He doesn't look a day over the time I had seen him, which is weird. And yeah, but yeah, sort of updates everyone. Not all hope is lost. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Proceed.
You all head out to a tavern inn, and while you're eating dinner, Star sort of looks to all of you and says, "Do you know, I don't imagine you do, why I was chosen to travel with you?"
No.
Not a suck.
Not really, no. Gurr hadn't told us much, except that someone would go with us.
Yeah, he's like that. I have an ability to divine into certain areas, if you wish.
Divine.
Scry. See into the future, foretell fortunes.
Huh. Might could help a little more, but not sure how much we should look into beyond what I'd learned from that book. It's worth trying, but perhaps in the morning.
She nods.
Why is Thorn here?
Thorn just, we're a bit of a pair.
Pen nods.
And he's always useful in a fight.
Though thankfully we haven't gotten into one yet.
Yes.
I was worried that would start to happen. Police were mentioned. Oh well.
Alright. So, all of you, finish your meal, head off to bed, and, it's the middle of the night, and Merritt, you can't sleep well.
Okay.
And I would like for you to do a wisdom check for me.
Wisdom check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not saving throw?
Yep.
Alright, just thought I'd make sure because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
That sure is still not... Alright.
Something is bothering you. It's kind of just like this weird buzzing in the back of your head, like almost like an anxiety, like a vague feeling. And it's not letting you sleep well. And you get up and I imagine you all share rooms as usual. And kind of, who would you be sharing with?
Noah probably? Considering... Yeah.
Yeah,
And consequently, Lilith, who is like kind of the rug now, just sort of you have to watch out for her.
Yeah.
Noah is passed the fuck out, and Lilith also doesn't seem super bothered. So you just sort of keep it to yourself, and you get up and leave the room and go get some fresh air. Hope to get some amount of clearing your head, and you end up going for a little bit of a walk, and you find yourself heading towards the willow tree.
Of course.
Of course. And you enter within its branches into the sort of almost dome-like structure of the tree. And at this point, it is like easily 4 a.m. or something. Like it's nighttime night. No one's up. And all of these, like, this busy place of travel and commerce is almost dead empty. Not in an unsettling way, just quiet and still. And make another wisdom check.
All right, that's better. Thank you, my boy.
You take a stroll around the base of this tree, like looking up, watching around. And you've noticed something that's sort of slipped your mind as you've traveled here, is that this tree is not singing. And it takes you to like a while for you staying here in this like dead quiet of the night to remember, like, oh yeah, those other ones were doing that. And you kind of like look at the tree, and as your eyes gaze up at its branches and the sort of like swaying leaf-like tendrils, you see a figure among the branches.
Yeah? Alright, sort of squints looking at them and goes, hello? Sort of doesn't quite fully... They're in the branches?
Kind of? Like, they're up in the tree, like, near the trunk. So they're not, like, in the actual, like, willow part.
Yeah, they're
but
not
you
like in
can...
the canopy.
Yeah, but you can see, like, there's a figure just kind of up there. And you're not sure how they got up there or what's keeping them up there.
Merritt starts... He goes near the base, sort of like... Not going to climb it, but... Closer up. Just like, try to look at this figure.
Okay. As you approach, the figure actually sort of ducks into the tree, and you don't see them for a moment, but you hear, like, a giggle.
Merritt says hello again, but in Sylvan this time. And... faintly follows, but that much more self-aware. He's like, oh, I feel like I know this trick. But just to be sure.
You sort of, like, duck around the tree and look for them. And, after a few moments, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and you turn around and you know, like, the scene in Sinbad where that giant lady is there?
Yeah.
It's like that. There is, a massive floating woman just kind of watching you, and she seems delighted that she, like, spooks you slightly, and, she, like, crosses her arms, puts her chin on her hands, and, you recognize immediately that this is a dryad.
He does, slightly start and just goes, oh, huh. So I was kind of thinking right. Magic through the trees is something of an oddity. Hi.
Hello. And she is also naked,
Yeah,
as
Alright.
trees are wont to be, I guess.
Yeah.
as it just happens sometimes to dryads, it's just her presence itself that phased Merritt briefly. The fact that she's this is like, yeah, okay, Faye.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she sort of like leans in closely, and like you are easily like the size of one of her fingers. And she just sort of like looks at you with interest and says, "You're a curious little thing."
I've been told that before. Yes.
What's your name?
Merritt. May I ask what's yours?
They call me Serene, so I've taken a hold to it.
Good name. They, the people around here, or
Yes. You know, the little mortals.
of course. You wouldn't have happened to be the cause of my insomnia, would you?
I don't know whatever you could mean. I have just taken an interest. I've been alone for quite some time, and I just... When is a better chance?
Well, I'll be here for the evening at least.
I watched you earlier, you and your companions. And she sort of turns her head to the side, and her hair, it, like, is made of the willow branches and is sort of, like, flowing freely in the...
Mm-hmm.
Most.
Okay. Okay. I keep being afraid in like sciences that my connection goes.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Or it's like I've been watching then.
Of course.
Do you watch all travelers, or are you just particularly interested in me?
Well, some interesting folks come from far away occasionally, but you and your friends particularly seem interesting.
We're all a long way from home.
Wait, did someone drop?
It is
Yeah.
Jess. I'm texting them, and I told them they could leave because they are having something.
Yeah.
I will
It's
catch them
alright.
up, so it's alright.
Yeah. It's not great, but understandable.
Yeah.
A nice
Yeah.
night. But yeah. Here goes. Well, we are quite a long ways from home. And just slightly lost, but we make do.
Where are you from?
Continent further north. Tenum. Oh my god.
Sorry, snoring.
Sorry, sleep.
Oh my god.
Oh, honey.
Sorry.
Siren's asleep.
Oh my god.
Sorry to sleep. Yeah.
It's okay, but oh, honey.
Oh, my.
Well, we'll wrap up soon.
Yeah. Sure, try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get guarantees. Oh god.
Train is here.
Yeah, I heard the faintest beep.
You motherfucker.
Wake up, Siren!
But yeah, Serene sort of smiles and drums her fingers on the earth a little and says, I've never been anywhere that isn't here.
Imagine so, although it's no easy way to the wilds itself. This much activity, is there?
The what?
The wilds. Feywild?
I've never been.
Mary, looks honestly confused.
I was born here.
With no connection to the wilds at all.
She shrugs.
Very curious. I know of dryads, many nymphs, and fae, but they all had their ways to get home if they weren't there already.
I wasn't even sure they were more of us, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, there are to an extent. Not as many on this plane as there are in the wilds. Last I knew. I wasn't even sure if there was any fae haunting it at all. It's so dried out. Nearly.
I had sensed their presence from time to time, though they rarely stop, and yours is much more potent, I suppose, than in your strange company.
Doesn't surprise me as much. I'm not exactly a fallen dryad. I'm not of this plane either.
I can tell.
Anything you'd care to know about the world outside, specifically?
It's about everything, but
Aren't
I
we all
can't
to an
keep
extent?
you here forever, can I?
Unfortunately not. I do have places to be.
Unfortunately.
But I do know the pain of being ever so curious and not being able to leave, so... Well, yeah, Benji. Benji just messaged me. I thought it was in the group chat. Benji, don't. But... Yeah. It just... Because I have pain of not being able to explore the outside world to an extent. I'd been there before, so I'm not going to sleep much today, tonight even. I can stay at least for a while.
Very well. Some small merits. Tell me.
Huh? Did you cut out?
She just said, tell me.
Just tell me? Okay.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't know where to begin, just in general. Even worse still, I don't know very much about Sekoh.
Then speak of our kind.
Our kind.
I just wish to know.
Our kind ever so beautiful, charming. Not unlike yourself, but just to clarify. We are mostly part of a court. We have a queen who has a consort. They have children.
She sort of chin hands as she listens.
We are on and off with what used to be our kind, but are betrayers. The Summer Court versus the Winter Court. Though there hasn't been any true war in some time, thankfully. I wouldn't rather not live to see that. We in general, nymphs, protect the land, nature, particularly that which you come from. And, merit justice to her and to the tree. And, yeah. There are some exceptions, well, not exceptions, but differences, like nymphs. One.
And what of you? Not bound to any place. I am unable to leave here. This dark place, all alone. No sight of something bright in the sky. I only get glimpses.
I am
God,
but
that's
half-blooded.
I just want to talk to her so bad.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Should have been a dryad.
Should have been a half-giant man, should have joined.
Should have been half dryad. You get all the babes.
And then just siren softening in the distance.
Yep.
Bless her. Yeah, Merc goes, I am but half-blooded. Most Fae keep to the wilds, and dryads like yourself can't do much else, and true. I am but half-blooded, and so I can more easily move through the woods, and I have ties here, though they're very loose. Press says I don't quite belong, though. Neither here nor there.
Then perhaps we are the same.
Or at least akin to, yes. I have a hard time imagining not being able to go back to the wilds, though I am quite far out as it is.
Hold on a second.